YouTube channel. Thought I would do for you guys today a quick, well, I'm hoping it's quick, it probably won't be knowing me, but a quick everyday makeup look tutorial for you. So this is how I usually do my makeup on a day-to-day basis. There are things I sometimes will do a little bit differently, but this is a general idea of it. So I hope you enjoy it. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see, and here we go. Okay, so I've already moisturised my face, so I then will start with a primer because I have very dry skin. You can't really tell on this camera, but I can't really get away with not wearing a primer, especially in winter. So I was using Professional by Benefit for ages. I'm sure you all know it. I absolutely loved it, but I am flat out. It is empty as all hell. So I'm now using the Balm's Time Balm face primer. I find it really, really, really good. It's very similar to Professional by Benefit in the consistency. I'll show you a little smudge of it. It's very much like a gel, if anything. So I start by applying that all on my T-zone. And up onto my cheeks. Only a little bit on my cheeks though. But as you can see, there's a bit of a breakout happening at the moment, so it just helps the foundation stick to that. So after I've primed my face, I then start with my foundation. I'm currently using MAC Studio Fix Fluid in NW15. So I find that this is probably the best full coverage foundation I have. So I apply that with my Sigma F80 brush. It's the flat Kabuki brush, which I'm sure, again, a lot of you would be aware of. I find that's probably the best for making my foundation go the whole way, like getting good coverage out of it. So, sorry, my mirror is just to the side. So I start by dabbing my foundation on my face. I just find, again, it makes a little bit go a long way. When I bought my MAC Studio Fix, the first bottle, this is probably about my third or fourth bottle I'm on to, I bought the pump for it because I don't like the actual lid and then having to pour it because I find there was a lot of wastage. So I usually only use probably about 2 pumps of this if I'm using my F80 brush. So it does go quite a long way. I will also make sure I link everything I am using in the description down below so that you can go ahead and purchase if you wish. So I'm already getting, this lighting is really terrible today, but you can already see it is covering up. I do have quite a lot of freckles and it is covering up. So you can see my freckles here, covered on this side. Okay, so after my foundation's done, I then will use a concealer under my eyes and a little bit on my chin, simply because that seems to be where I break out. So I'm using NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Custard, which is medium 1. I would say this is probably my favourite concealer. I'm very picky with concealers. I find it's not too drying. I also like the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, but I do find it's very drying and get a little bit cakey underneath my eye. So, I also make sure that if I'm putting concealer on, that I'm putting it just here as well. I do have quite dark corners of my eyes and on my eyelid. That just helps when I put on eyeshadow later, it just helps it stay. Just the tiniest bit on my chin. I then use a beauty blender to blend it all in. I find the Beauty Blender, I used to use a brush for my concealer, but I just find the Beauty Blender, I guess helps my skin absorb it a bit better. That's the only way I can really put it. I like the finish a lot better with the Beauty Blender for my concealer. So that's just what I tend to stick with. Okay. So you can already sort of, still got a bit of bags. I haven't slept much in the last few days, but it's helped. Okay, so after I finish my concealer, I set my whole face with powder. I use MAC Studio Fix in the shade NW20. So, there. In Studio Fix Fluid, I'm NW15, so I go one shade up in the powder as recommended to me by the girl at my local MAC. So I set with my Sigma large powder brush. It is a F30. Super, super, super fluffy. And it gets my whole face, so. So I just do that just to set my foundation and my concealer. And to stop any, I guess, shine coming through. Okay, after I've used my powder to set my face, I then contour my face as well. I don't do a heavy contour. I just really just focus on my cheekbones and a little bit on my nose for everyday makeup. That obviously isn't something everyone has to do, but I just like the look it gives me. Some days I don't do it. Some days I'm just really lazy and I'll just be blush and that's it. But for the purpose of the tutorial, I'll show you all the steps. So I use the Hoola Benefit. It's actually a bronzer. I'll show you. Hip hand. So I use that just because I find it's not muddy on me. I'm very, very picky with bronzers and contour shades and everything like that because a lot of them come up muddy on me. But this one is fantastic. So I use my NARS Kabuki Eye Brush. Love this brush. It is just perfect for contouring. It is a bit on the pricier side, but I've had mine for about a year now. I haven't had any shedding whatsoever. It's definitely worth it. So again, I'll link that down below. So just tap it off a bit once I have swooped a little bit, and then I start. So my contouring, I'll start here. So I can't really show you, but just below my cheekbone, so just about there. So, and I finish it about halfway between my hairline and my mouth. So as you can see, it's very subtle. I'll blend it out. It's just to give me a little bit more shape to my face because I do have a very round face. So I do like to be able to do this just to give me a little bit more definition. Okay. And I just do a dab on the side of each nose. I have a very crooked nose. So I just find it helps make it not look so crooked. So again, it's just really from here to here that I will apply. If I'm doing a full face contoured, I will apply it up further, but because it's just an everyday look, it's just a little bit on either side of my nose. So after I've used my Hoola bronzer, I will then highlight my cheekbones and the bridge of my nose. At the moment, I'm going between MAC's Soft and Gentle and the Balm Merry Luminizer, but for the purpose of today, I'm going to use the Balm because it does come up a lot better on camera. How amazing is that? So pretty. Okay. Then I will use my Tapered Highlighter F35 brush by Sigma. It's probably the best brush I've come across for highlighting. I am always on the hunt for other ones, so if you know of any good ones, leave a comment down below and let me know. So this one is one that goes quite far. So you only really need, that's actually probably too much, only really need the slightest amount. And then I just apply it on the top of my cheekbone. So see, that's just one little sweep and you can see. And then okay, so you can already tell highlight, no highlight. So then I do it on the other side. So just this will last you ages. You only need the tiniest bit to go a long way. And then just down the bridge of my nose. Then the last thing I do for my face base is my blush. So at the moment, I seem to be reaching more for my favourite MAC blush, which is in the shade Rosy Outlook. So it's a soft pink, but there's hints of, I guess, coral in it. I'm quite a fan of it. There was a guy at, I think it was the Macquarie Centre MAC, who I'm not too sure what his name was, but he was amazing when he put it on me, and I was like, I need to have it. And I've been obsessed with it since. For my blush, it's not actually a blush brush, it's the Large Angled Contour Brush by Sigma, the F40. But I find that probably the best for my blush. So I use that one. Again, the tiniest dab, and then I just apply it to the apples of my cheeks. So. Just to add a little bit of colour. Especially for pin-up looks, I find that if you don't have blush, it doesn't give it as much of an authentic look. That being said, I'm pretty sure women in 50s do contour, but that's just something I like to do. Okay, so now that all my base is done, I then start from the eyebrows down. So I'll do my eyebrows, my eyes, and my lips. For my eyebrows, I do at the moment, it's not coming up that well, but I have purple hair at the moment. It is a Directions colour. I'll link it down below. Sometimes I will use this Inglot pigment in 124 for my eyebrows, but not for an everyday look. So my everyday look, I seem at the moment to be going more towards my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Powder Duo in Caramel. It's just quite a nice natural shade. So this colour here, the darker colour, I will use for the tail end of my eyebrow, and the lighter colour is for the front. I use it with my Anastasia Beverly Hills number 12 brush. So it's a nice pointed brush, and it's got the spoolie on the end too. So for my eyebrows, I will brush them upwards so that I can really get as close as I can to the hairline. Then I start out with the lighter colour. And I just basically follow the natural arch of my eyebrow. I used to have very, very straight across eyebrows for many years in my teens. They were waxing too thin and very straight. I've slowly started getting a bit more of a natural arch in my eyebrow, and that's just simply by being really fussy and tweezing them myself. Basically, as soon as I see a stray, I'll tweeze it, but then to shape them, I do all that myself as well by tweezing, and I do that probably once every 2 weeks. Then I'll go in with the darker shade. And so that is on, can't do it as well on the camera, sorry guys. But that's on the more of the tail end of my brow. And then I will use the lighter colour here and do brush strokes. So vertical brush strokes that are in line with the way my hair naturally grows. Then I'll use the spoolie and just brush it all through. So it's kind of like, I guess, blending any other makeup product. So it's really just to fill them in a little bit more because I have very sparse eyebrows, especially this one. There's a scar underneath my eyebrow, so that one always needs a lot more attention. So, and then I will blend that through. Okay, so then what I use just to set it, sometimes I will use my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Gel. But because this is a lighter eyebrow colour, I'm currently using Benefit's Gimme Brow in the shade, what shade is this? Medium Deep. So that again, it just looks like a little spoolie brush just there. I do wipe the excess off on the lid just because otherwise I find it gets quite gluggy then and you get streaks on your face. And then I just sweep that through my brows. That sets it and gives the actual brow hairs a little bit more definition, if that makes sense. I sound stupid, guys. Okay, so you can already see the difference there. That one's just a little bit darker. And it's not really, unless I was using a pomade, I can't really get my eyebrows that dark. Okay, then what I do is I'll go through and fix up any mistakes that I have made. I put a little dab of concealer. So again, just using the one that I used earlier on the back of my hand. And then I will go in with, it's just an Eco Tools brush. This is the only one I find that's really good for fixing up my eyebrows. It's just a flat-ended brush, and I'll go in and tidy up my brows around it. So this is just to make sure they're as crisp as they can be. Sorry, I've got to fly away here. And it's still wanting to annoy me. Go away here. Okay, so you will notice one of my eyebrows sits higher naturally than this one. I sometimes can get it to look half decent and matching with when I fill in my eyebrows, but not a lot, so I just have to do it. Okay, so after my eyebrows are done, I will do my eyelids, that's what they're called. So I'm using Too Faced Chocolate Bar. I'm onto my second palette. But I absolutely love it, and it smells like chocolate. Okay, so for my eyes, I use, sorry, I'm trying to get on my angle. I go in with this colour here, and this one here, and then this one here I use as a bit of a brow bone highlight. Okay, so I start out with that first colour. I'm using the Sigma E35 tapered blending brush, and I start by just applying that all over my eyelid. I take it just below my actual brow bone. There we go. Then the other eye. Okay. So that's just sort of my base colour. I find it's quite a nice light brown, and I'm quite fair, so it works well on my skin. I then use for the crease of my eye to add a little bit of depth the darker colour I showed you. It's like a plum sort of colour, and I use the Sigma E35 brush. It's a bit of a shorter brush, and so I don't know if you can really see the colour. Oh, you can see it a little bit. And then I just apply that to the crease of my eyelid. So, that landing on. Now it's gone. It was a bit of fluff on my eye. Okay, so that just adds a little bit more depth. I have hooded eyelids, so this just helps fix it. Okay, then I go back in with the first E35 brush, and I just blend it. Blend it. Blend it. Could I have said that enough? So you'll see it's much smoother and even there than this. So once that's blended, that's really all I do in terms of the colour. I will sometimes then add that other colour I was telling you about. So that one is kind of a shimmery, more of a shimmery one that I like to use for my brow bone. And I do that with the Sigma E30 pencil brush. And I just sweep that under my eyebrow. After I've finished doing my eyeshadow, I then go in with eyeliner. So I'm using, it is e.l.f. cream eyeliner. Whoops. I bought this from Kmart actually. It's just in a little pot, and it's just in the shade black. That's the only thing I can really find on it. So again, another Sigma brush. It's the Sigma E75. It's an angled brow brush, but I find it really, really good for my winged liner. So I just use the tiniest amount. And then I start by drawing a line upwards. It's a good thing as well to not close your eyes or pull your skin, because then that's when you let it go, it'll go sort of ripply. It's not going to be a crisp line. And then just connect that down. So I've got a bit of a triangle happening. Sorry, a bird just hit my window. And then just fill that in. Just like that. Okay, I end it around about there. I don't go all the way down, simply because throughout the day I get a bit sweaty and gross, and I find if I take it too far down, that's when I'll get a big gloop of eyeliner and mascara and everything in the corner of my eye, and that's not pretty. And then I just do the other on my other eye. Okay, so that is my eyeliner. And then the last thing I do for my eyes is just mascara. So I'm a big fan of Benefit's They're Real mascara. I usually tend to buy it when it's in a holiday gift pack, because usually then there's other things that I use quite regularly that I can get so much cheaper. Apply to my top lash. And I also apply it on my bottom lash as well, because my bottom lashes are very blonde. I am a natural blonde, so even though I dye my hair every colour under the sun, unfortunately it doesn't affect my lashes or my eyebrows, so they're still quite light natural. Okay, and then the very last thing I do is my lipstick. I use quite a lot of different shades, but this is probably my favourite. So I'm going in with MAC Russian Red. I'm a big sucker for red lipsticks, as any Pinup is. So I also use a brush for my lipstick as well, just to help even it out, because my Cupid's bow on this side goes higher than this side, so it just is a bit easier. And then I will just finish my lips up. And I'll just fix up the top. I'm quite fussy with my lipstick. So it does seem to take me longer than the normal person. And there we go. So that's it. That's my daily makeup. Sorry, I just dropped the brush. That is my daily makeup. I know it's a bit much for a lot of people. This video, obviously I was trying to give a bit of detail. Usually I can get it done in about 10-15 minutes, but I'm going to guarantee this video goes for a lot longer than that. But I just wanted to explain to you guys a bit. There are days where I will skip the eyeliner, or I will just do a blush and, like, you know, just fill my brows in with the Gimme Brow. It just really depends on how I'm feeling. But generally this is my daily makeup look. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to my channel, and let me know in the comments below if there's anything you'd like to see from me. I'm planning on doing a bunch of different Pinup sort of related tutorials. So anything you'd like to know, ask me, and I will try and help you the best I can. Thanks guys, bye!